I've used powered screwdrivers since pretty much since they were invented, and I still wanted this one for a reason I'll tell you in a second. There's a lot here that's good, and there's a lot here. But I do want to first point out what I don't like, because that's what people tend to focus on. And it starts with the grip. Just the fact that the trigger is right here where you want to be gripping the thing means you're probably going to be, right now it's in the center between clockwise and counterclockwise, tighten and loosen, so that's why you just get the light. You'll be hitting it when you don't want to sometimes. That's what I've found so far. And likewise for the reverse button, which is right here. I don't like this location. I'd rather if it were something a little bit more like one I have now, which is this one, because you got the whole grip, right? You can just grip it, and then you don't have to go 2 steps, reverse, forward, and then squeeze the trigger. It's just, that's counter, and that's clockwise. If you're trying to seat a bolt, for example, you might want to run it backward for just a few turns, just to make sure it seats correctly, and then drive. So that's one thing, but on the flip side, this thing doesn't convert to 90 degrees. It came with 2 bits as opposed to all of this. It does have this extra light here, which is nice, but there's much less came with this for the price. So on to some other things that I'm not as wild about. I mentioned the converting. It does convert like this, which is good, but I find the edges extremely sharp, the way you have to push the button in to get it to work. Same thing here with these buttons. I'm not saying sharp, but just they don't, mine doesn't always work right. Sometimes I'll be like, I'll hit it that way, it works. I'll hit it that way, and it doesn't. Like, I got to push it all the way in to make it work. That might just be my sample. Your results may vary. Beyond that, one thing I didn't like is on the listing, there's a photo on Amazon that shows this collar, this ring, and it says 10 speeds. This is not speeds. There's 1 speed. The book says it's like 300 RPM, whatever. This is a clutch that limits the torque, which is actually great, and one of the reasons I wanted to get this. Because usually you find that on a drill or something bigger, if you're driving screws in and you don't want them to sink in too far into the wood, for example, or you're using something delicate, you can turn this down and it will keep it from driving too hard. I'll give you an example here, and I'll point out this is a magnetic chuck or collet, which is a nice deal. Here we go. I got this set on the lowest setting. Hear that clicking? That's the clutch letting go. So you turn it up a bit. Yeah, now it's, going past whatever force I'm holding against it. That's what this is. It's not speed. So look at all you get with this thing. It's amazing. The case, which is actually kind of nice. Directions, you got the case. No complaints there. All of these bits. Now, I'll do a quick run through. You've got your regular Phillips heads here, 4 of them, right? You got these 3-legged versions, or 3-tooth instead of 4. Phillips are typically 4. That's technically kind of a security bit. You'll run into that on occasion. These are hex key or Allen wrench type tips. You got your standard. You've got several Torx bits, star bits. Now, more of these are PZ style Phillips heads, which are similar. I'm unclear on exactly how they differ from the others, but they are not exactly the same. And then your square drive, which is useful. I've used a couple of these already for electrical stuff. In here, you've got star with a little divot in them, a little, and this is a security bit as well, because sometimes you'll go try to remove something with a regular star drive bit and you won't, it'll have a little pin sticking up in it, unless you have that little hole, that won't work. A couple of forked ones, similar story. 3 of these drill bits. What was missing from the other thing? I'd already pulled out the extension, the I guess that's 1/4-inch drive for the sockets that you get. And actually I haven't looked at them yet. I believe they're all metric. Yes, they are all metric. That is an awful lot. And you also get this charging cord. Now, at first I was concerned that it was a USB charging system because this one came with its own power supply. And I thought, well, a power supply this big, here it is probably going to charge faster than USB. It's 7 volts. But then I did a little looking. It's 7 volts and 1/4 of an amp. Don't fall asleep on me. This matters. This, being USB, is 5 volts. But when I plugged it in, I actually metered it, and it was charging at 0.8 amp, almost, getting closer to a full amp. So power-wise, this was receiving more power than the bulky thing that you would have to carry with you if you were like traveling with the thing. With this one, all you have to do is travel with this cord, and any USB source will do. But understand that you want a powerful enough USB source because they aren't all the same. Nowadays, you should be fine with almost anything. But if you have some old, wall wart, as they call it, it could be like a 1/2 amp or something like that, and that'll give you slower charging. I think you need probably at least 1 amp, 1.5 amp. But like I said, anything will work. And all you have to do is bring this with you. Don't complain that it's not a normal USB cord. This connector is much more durable than micro USB or USB-C, which is what they might have put in here, like you have on a phone or something like that. Multiple uses over time, those things just tend to fail. So yeah, it's not a normal cord, but I think in the long run you'd be better off with this. So overall, it has performed well. I'm impressed with it. You get a lot for your money. I did mention some basic things I don't like about it that you'll have to make your own decision. But if you've never had a powered driver, I highly recommend them. I came for the laziness and stayed for the carpal tunnel syndrome, frankly.
It's very easy to use, but you need to remember to put these two in a bag. These are the two go-betweens between the using of the wrenches and using of the bits. I'll show you, because if you lose these while you're trying to work or put something together, or you don't know what they are, then you're going to get a headache. For instance, the long one is for all the little bits. Remember that, long one for the bits. The little tiny one is for these nuts and bolts. Okay, this goes there. And so you're going to screw something down or loosen it. That's what it's for. Don't lose this. That's the go-between. The long one, this one. Let's say you need a Phillips screwdriver to screw in a picture frame on a wall after you've drilled it a little hole to put the screw in first. Always recommended. And you're ready to screw in. This is slow or hard. I have it on 5. I recommend to keep it on 5. You only need 10 if you're going to use like real. You need to tighten the bolt real tight, and you have to have it tight. But anything you want to just put it snug. Alright, and to bring it back to screwdriver mode, press here, turn it, screwdriver. And that's it. Remember, keep these two in a bag. And there you go.
In the kit, you get a screwdriver, a manual, a charging cable, and a whole bunch of bits. There's flathead and Torx, there's sockets, security Torx bit and drill bits, hex Phillips and tri-point, square and poly drive, and it comes with a carry case. Both the extension bit holder and the bit holder on the screwdriver are magnetic. Bits just snap in without any effort. However, the included bits themselves aren't magnetic. It can't hold onto a screw to save its life. For the record, the screws are metal, and they are picked up just fine with this other screwdriver with magnetic bits. If I move the magnetic bit over to the Vastar, we see it now picks up the screws just fine. As for operation, it's really easy. You got the forward, reverse, and lock selector. That's kind of like a power drill. It's also got a speed selector that is also similar to a power drill. Lastly, there is a little flashlight to help light up whatever it is you are working on. And the drill can also be switched from pistol grip to inline grip if that is what you are into.
This is my review of my new electric cordless screwdriver. As you can see, it comes with loads of different attachments for all possible uses. It's absolutely amazing, and I have been using it. It's so efficient and effective. So this is another attachment. It's rotatable, so I can't do it with one hand, but you can, as you can see, you can turn it around. So I've just put it in a straight position. It's very powerful and easy to use, as you can see, and very solid light, various different strength settings, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm going to give it a 5-star review. Go for it.